Hello and welcome to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Chris and I'm just doing my final team reveal. It's about half an hour to kick off, so I thought I'd jump on and share with you guys what I landed on, because it is a little bit different from the podcast that we had last week. You can also check out Ben's team reveal and Swizz's team reveal that uploaded, I believe, last night. So check them out. They're good stuff there. But I thought I'd partake. Things have changed, and I'll start this with, we do have team announcements right now, and if you have Jake Lloyd or if you had Sean Darcy, I feel sorry for you guys very much, because he's not actually in the name of round one sides. I actually didn't have Jake Lloyd in my team in my first reveal, and to this day I still didn't have it, so it didn't really affect me, but Sean Darcy was one I was throwing up, and unfortunately, really, I always thought the three options for premiums, as far as premiums go, are obviously Gawn, Grundy, and Darcy. With Darcy out, I'm not sure who you're going to change to, especially now with English already played as well. So Witts seems to be one of the only options outside of, say, Nick Nat. So good luck. Sorry, guys. Let's start from the back line here. I've got obviously Jackie Crisp. I've got a D1 there. And then I've gone a little bit strange. So this is the big one that I've changed. I've gone with Luke Ryan. Now, Luke Ryan could potentially turn into Ridley by tomorrow night. He's the one that I'm sort of umming and ahhing about. Now, why do we hate Luke Ryan? It's not his scoring ability. We obviously know what he can do on the park. It's purely his physical nature, in that he loves to get injured all the time. And it'll be 1 week here, 2 weeks there, 3 weeks there, 4 weeks there, and before you know it, he's out for 6 weeks a year. So Luke Ryan, obviously, for that reason, may move to Ridley for that little bit extra security. But I needed someone around his price to be able to adjust my team, and I'll go through a little bit of that later. I do, however, think he's easily top 6 in terms of defenders for scoring ability and average. So if he does get his body right, who knows? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. Jaden Shaw, already gone through him on the previous pod, as well as Lockie Whitfield and Hewitt. Those guys have not changed. I suppose what has changed slightly is my structure. So I'm now 5 deep in defence with Hewitt at D5. And the bench is pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to keep O'Driscoll there. I know he hasn't been named, but he's now going to be my loophole option. And the long-term plan is that after week 6, Dacos, who will gain defensive ability, will move back into the back line via O'Driscoll and will become my D6 moving forward. So that is my short-term plan. In the meantime, 5 of the first 6 rounds, I can actually loophole with these 3 players, with Paddy McCartan, Sam DeConing, and O'Driscoll. I can actually loophole them 5 of the first 6 weeks. So that's my plan. I think it's a great plan moving forward. Moving into the midfield, so a last-minute change. I brought McRae back in last night, which was great for me. I've gone with Touk over Steele at this stage, and it's a very, very minor adjustment. The reason mainly is the first 2 weeks, Touk's just going to absolutely destroy with basically no West Coast midfield this week. So I'm looking forward to a large score, and I think that he's probably going to be a straight captain for me this week. So that is a lot. I know Steele plays Collingwood, and he's obviously scored well against Collingwood in the past, but there's no Ryder there. I know Ryder does affect his scores, albeit not as high as it used to. And I'm splitting hairs. I'm literally looking for reasons to not go one or the other. And you can coin flip the 2 of them, but Touk Miller's the one that I landed on. Obviously, Lockie Neal, one that has made way into my side is Patrick Cripps. So he's one of the reasons why I need that little bit extra money. I've actually gone up from Horn Francis all the way to Patrick Cripps, and I've done that with selecting slightly cheaper rookies on my Pine, and a couple of adjustments in my forward line. So that's enabled me to do that. Now, so technically I've got 12 premiums with Hewitt, Rowell, and Canidio, which to me those 3 all have opportunities to become keepers. So we'll see how we go, but I really, really like the setup that I've got right now. Then we go to Berry, Dacos, and Ward. Obviously standard selections. On the bench, McEntee will need to be changed, so that will be something that I'll be looking at tonight to see if I can change him over. I was hoping he would get selected and would be my mid-forward swing, but as he is not, I want to change him to a playing rookie, so I'm not quite sure who yet, but I might even go something like Nick Martin into the forward line and Rochelle up onto the bench up there. But I'm not loving Nick Martin's job security, so we'll see how we go. I know Stringer's not playing as of yet, and that could be basically a holder for him. And he started training again this week, so he'll be back very shortly. Connor McDonald and Owens, I like. We'll see how we go. Obviously, with all the COVID effects at the Hawks and injuries down there, McDonald's got a little bit of job security, and of course, same thing can be said about Owens, who they've just got injury after injury, and through that midfield, and I think that he's got some very good short-term job security. I went with Grundy, of course, and English, which I swung in last minute. I know that I did have English initially on the pod, but then I went out of him, and then I went back to him. So I'm really happy that I started with English. I've got Hayes there at R3. So he'll be working for me there. And the forward lines hasn't changed very much. The only difference is I don't have McGovern, and I've gone away from that just for cash purposes. Like, I'd love to have McGovern over Rochelle, but I just don't have that extra 70k with this individual setup. And on the bench, I've got Baldwin and Dixon. So pretty simple structure. It's nothing too crazy, but I probably have one or potentially two more premiums than most people, depending on how you're viewing your premiums. I went deeper in the defence than most people will. Most people have Hinge at, say, D5. I don't like Hinge. I don't like his job security. I'm not a big fan of his. I mean, if he goes great, fantastic, and I applaud everyone else who does grab him. But 180k for someone like Matty Hinge, not really interested. Not my cup of tea. Obviously, the big omissions. I don't have Horn Francis playing forward line, and North doesn't seem like a great position, but he can score well. I still think he probably averages between 60 to 65, maybe 70 in absolute top end. But I'm not sold on his. I'm sold on his job security. I'm not sold on his scoring potential at this stage. I like Rochelle, but if I have to make way for him, I'm partial to doing that. So I think outside of that, most bases are covered. I wish I could fit Steele in here as well, or get Cripps to Steele, but that's just way too much money. And that is it, guys. So I hope you like it. Hopefully week 1 is a big winner for us, and so far it has been with the 3 big scores. Stay tuned to see who I pick between Luke Ryan and Jordan Ridley. So that's really my last decision moving forward. All right, guys, have a good one. Catch you later.